physics and fourth chapter, that is moving charges and magnetism. In the last video we had discussed about the motion of the charges in the magnetic field, and in today's video we are going to discuss about the velocity selector. So let us go by the name. Here the velocity of what? That is the velocity of the charged particles. And selector means what? Something that would be selecting. That means velocity selector is a type of arrangement or a type of setup through which charged particle of particular velocity can be selected. So let us write its use. It is used to select the charged particles of particular velocity. That means what? To select the charged particle of particular velocity, that means there may be various charged particles with different speeds, right? So out of the group of the charged particles which are having different speed, out of that group of charged particles, we are going to select only those charged particles of a particular velocity only, right? So for this kind of condition, that is we are going to select the charged particle of particular velocity, for that certain arrangement is to be needed, and for that arrangement we need the electric field and the magnetic field. And how this electric field and magnetic field are set up? The condition is that the electric field and the magnetic field both should be perpendicular to each other. This is the main setup of this velocity selector. It is important to get this condition that the electric field and the magnetic field should be perpendicular to each other. And so it is also called as crossed fields. Now let us have a look for its arrangement. How the velocity selector is made. Now see, as you can see over here, we have taken two magnets and the north pole and the south pole are facing each other, right? So the magnetic field lines over here will be from the north pole to the south pole. Because we are already knowing the direction of the magnetic field line, it always comes from the north pole and it terminates to the south pole. And as you can see over here, the upper plate and the lower plate, that is the charged particles plate, charged plates, that is at the lower plate it is positively charged and the upper plate it is negatively charged. Now see, you can understand this arrangement. At the front and at the back, two magnets are kept. Here at the front, the south pole is kept, south pole of the magnet, and at the back, the north pole of the magnetic is there. And the magnetic field lines come from the north to south pole. And at the top and the bottom, two charged plates are placed. The top plate is negatively charged, and the bottom plate that is positively charged. So, and we know that the electric field line emerges out from the positive charge and it terminates to the negative charge. So here this will be the electric field lines. So here we have set up the magnets as well as the charge plates so that the electric fields and the magnetic fields both are perpendicular to each other, and as they are crossing like this, it is called as crossed fields. Let this be x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. This be origin. Okay. Now, as you can see in this setup, the electric field lines are along the y-axis. So, let this y-axis be the direction of the electric field, right? And the magnetic field lines are along the z-axis. So, let us take the z-axis for the magnetic field lines, that is vector B. Okay. Now, from this, a charged particle enters into this and it moves in this direction. So, let us consider that a positive charge plus q moves along x-axis with particular velocity, let it be vector v. So, for one charge which is moving along x-axis, what happens? Now see, because of this, when it is entering into the region when it is having electric field and magnetic field, that we had studied in Lorentz force. Lorentz force is what? When a charge enters in the region both having the magnetic field and the electric field, then two types of force will be exerted on the charge. One is the electric force due to the electric field and the other is the magnetic force due to the magnetic field. So, the total force combined on the charge, that is called as Lorentz force. So, here also the force exerted on the charge will be of two types. That is due to the electric field force experienced by the charge, that is electric force, and that is equals to what? Ft vector is equals to q e vector, right? And here you can write it as q e, let us take it as magnitude e, and its direction is along y-axis. So you may also write it as e j cap, right? So this is the electric force exerted on the charge. Now, the other force that is exerted on that is magnetic force. Due to the magnetic field, the force experienced by the charge, that is the magnetic force, and that you can write it as Fm vector. You can also denote it as Fb vector, and that you know it is equals to q v vector cross v vector. See, if you resolve this, you can write it as q vb sin theta, right? And theta is angle between the velocity in the magnetic field, and you can see the velocity and the magnetic field both are having 90-degree angle between them. So you can simply write it as Fm is equals to qvb. But here we have written in the form of unit vector, that is j cap. So here also we will be resolving that. That is q. Now see, v vector that can be written as what? V, that is its value, and its direction is along positive x-axis. So you can write it as I cap cross magnetic field, that is v vector. You can write its magnitude v, and you can see it is along positive z-axis. So for that you can write it as k cap. So this you can write it as q v b, taking magnitudes on one side, and I cap cross k cap. what is the direction. Okay, so it will be QVD minus JK. Now see, the force that is experienced by this charge, that is the electric force due to electric field, magnetic force due to the magnetic field, right? And here what will be the direction of the both the forces that we already got? Electric force is along positive y-axis. So this is the direction of the electric force. And over here what we are getting? The direction of the magnetic force is towards minus j cap. Minus j cap, that means what? Towards the negative y-axis. That means magnetic force is along negative y-axis, that is opposite to that of the electric force. And apart from this, you can also use the right hand rule, right? See, taking your right hand, your magnetic field lines are towards the z-axis, your velocity of the charged particle is towards the thumb. Then where will be the force? The force is perpendicular to the palm, that I have already discussed in the last video. You can go through that. So the force will be perpendicular to the palm, so it will be directed downwards. You can mention the direction of the magnetic force by using the right hand rule also. So from that also we can make out the direction is towards the negative y-axis. Now see, what will be the total force? See, here the directions are opposite. If we take the magnitude of the electric force and the magnetic force both equal, if we take the magnitude of electric force and magnetic force equal, then what will be the total force? See, magnitudes are equal and direction is opposite. So in that case, the total force will be what? The total force will be 0. So let us write it as total force F vector is equal to Fe vector plus Fn vector. Fe vector, that is what? That is QE j cap, and Fn, that is what? That is, let me write it one step away, that is QVB j cap. Minus are taken in front, so you can write like this: QVB j cap. Taking this j cap, QE minus QVB j cap. So this is the total force. Now as I said that if these two forces are equal, then the total force becomes 0. Students, you may first write down this uses. You can draw this arrangement, draw this figure and write down this point up to here. So we will be continuing this after you copy it down. Okay, so see, here I have already said the electric force and the magnetic force both are in opposite direction, and the condition over here is that the magnitude of electric force and the magnetic force should be equal. So when we take the magnitude of both the forces as equal and we know that directions are opposite, then in that case the net force acting on this charge will be 0. And from the Lorentz force we have already found the total force that is acting on the charged particle. So this is the total force, and if magnitude and direction are, magnitude is equal and direction is opposite, then in that case the total force becomes 0. Thus we can write this equation as 0 equals to QE minus QVB j cap. So this equation becomes QE equals to QVB, right? So Q gets cancelled, and here we need to find the particular velocity of the charged particle. So taking V as subject, V is equals to E by V. So this is the condition is used to adjust the velocity, right? And here, as I have said, that the cross fields E and B, we know that E and B should be perpendicular to each other, and for that reason it is called as crossed fields. So the crossed fields over here serve as the velocity selector. The crossed field, that is vector E and vector B, serve as the velocity selector. Now see, the question may arise that why over here we are taking the magnitude of the electric force and magnetic force to be equal. See, directions are opposite. We have taken such type of arrangement. Then why we are choosing such type of condition? Because see, here because the values are same and direction is opposite, that means the electric force nullifies the magnetic force. That means when a charged particle is moving with its particular velocity, both the forces will not exert on it because that will cancel out. So the charged particle will not experience any force and it will move with its own velocity. There will be no effect of electric force and magnetic force on the charged particle. So it is free to move in its path with its velocity. Now next thing, that what happens if we are not taking the magnitudes as equal. See, if we take the charged particle, see this is the particular velocity that we are choosing with the help of this ratio, right? Now what if the velocity is more than this particular velocity? Then what? Then there will be more magnetic force exerted on the charged particle. See, you can see over here the magnetic force which is equals to QVB. That means the magnetic force depends on the velocity of the charged particle. So if the velocity of the charged particle is more than the particular velocity, then the magnetic force will be more compared to the electric force. So the charged particles get deviated and it gets set up into the bottom charge plate, right? And if the velocity is less compared to this particular velocity, then what happens? Then the charge gets deviated on the upper side, that is towards the upper plate, right? In the other case, let us understand the other way. See, it is obvious that here the electric force and magnetic force is not exerting on the charged particle, right? Now, if the electric force is more, then what obvious? The charged particle will get force in the upward direction. So, instead of moving along x-axis on its own path, it gets deviated along the y-axis, right? Now, if the magnetic force is more, then what happens? If the magnetic force is more, then the charged particle gets deviated towards the negative y-axis. Then instead of going towards its own path, that is along x-axis, it will be going downwards, that is along negative y-axis. And for that reason, we are keeping the magnitudes of the electric force and the magnetic force as equal because its directions are opposite. And in that condition only, the charged particle will move freely without having any force of the electric and magnetic field on it. So, student, you may note down the rest of the derivation part, and you need to know this, that is cross fields, that is vector E